Hey everyone, in this video, I'm going to show you the different ways that I utilize AI within the realm of creating eBay listings. There's some great examples in here, and if you do have any examples or uses yourself, please go down there and leave a comment below. Like I said, AI has revolutionized the way just a lot of things are done in the world, including reselling. And like I said, in this video, I'm going to show you some of the tips and tricks that I use AI, particularly ChatGPT and other software to kind of optimize my listings, which have definitely generated more sales and more revenue for my business. So just go ahead and enjoy, and we'll see you soon. So one of the first things you can do is optimizing titles. This is really super easy to do. Today we're going to use ChatGPT, a very simple prompt. We're going to piggyback off a Brooks Brothers sweater, and we're going to see how this is going to go here. So what we're going to do is let's say you have this item here, this Brooks Brothers cardigan. What we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste this title, and we're going to add that to our prompt. As we can see here, we're going to take that and we're going to copy and paste it into ChatGPT. It says take this title and keywords and optimize it for eBay using 80 characters or less. And we've also copied and pasted that title in there. Now we will generate something here. Here is an optimized eBay title that fits within 80 characters and uses strong keywords. As you can see here, it has changed that other title to this title, which the chat GPT suggests that this is a more optimized title. Now I found that there's a little wonkiness to these things, but that's what's nice. You can go and review it and see what works and what doesn't. But you can actually utilize this if you don't even have a title. You can just give it some keywords by putting in the prompt and saying, hey, like I have a sweater and it's this brand and it's this size and it's this color. Could you create a title? And it'll do the same exact thing and spit that out. What's nice also about AI is there's multiple applications, not just ChatGPT, but there's photo editors, video editors. There's a lot of different tools that you can utilize for your eBay and any of your reselling needs, and especially photography. For me, I'm not really that great at taking photos for clothing, doing the whole dressing the mannequins up, or steaming and laying flat and all that stuff. There's a lot of great programs out there that can help you take a photo and kind of upgrade it a little bit. A lot of these programs, they do cost money, so that, there's going to be a little bit of a cost for that. Some of them will give you a certain amount of photos for free. This particular example, we use a photo room. For this one. As you can see, this is what a shirt would look like, but if you put it in photo room, you can actually make it a little bit more presentable. As you can see, before and after, and as you can see here, this is the photo room. We're not sponsored by photo room. It's just one of those things that I use. There's so many tools, and we'll do more videos on diving deeper down into this, but using photo room, or there's also a dozen other different type of apps that you can actually turn just a regular photo into something that looks a little bit more presentable on eBay, and some of these things really capture your eye, and it really helps out. So using kind of different tools for photography has really been a game changer for us here. So this is another example of how you can just take these different tools to actually really optimize your listings. So one of the more interesting ways that I've used ChatGPT in doing research for particular items that I'm listing is the signature situation. Sometimes we find items that are signed. We don't quite really know who signed them, what team they're on, who they are. Are they sports athletes? Are they actors? Or are they famous people? Who knows? Now you can, in theory, take the signature, put it in the ChatGPT, and it'll spit out all kinds of stuff. It's not really good at that with the model. One can create a database for that, but that's a whole other subject in itself. But we're just going to basically use what we have to work on to kind of determine, well, who signed this using ChatGPT. Now, at first we thought this might have been a LeBron James signature because it's a LeBron James shoe. This was donated on the West Coast. Once we looked at that, we definitely realized that that signature is not LeBron James. Now, we do have a very important clue, and if we didn't have this clue, we probably couldn't find out who really signed this. We got a jersey number 7. So what I did is I created some custom prompts here on ChatGPT. What basketball players wore number 7 jersey, a name list, no extra info. As we can see here, we have a whole list. You can do it with current players, and you can just basically copy and paste into eBay looking for the particular signature. We couldn't find it. Since this was donated on the West Coast, I decided, well, who's on a West Coast team? You know, give me some of those names, and it gave me some names. Now, for this particular thing, for this particular example, it wasn't working with me properly, but we did find that Gabe Vincent was number 7 and is currently on the Lakers. So what we did is we actually looked that up, and sure enough, that was the signature that matched the shoe, and also put number 7. So that was matched up. So that was one of the ways that I used ChatGPT to determine what signature was on the shoe. Now, it's not going to work for everything. I've tried it with art, and I've done all kinds of different things. It's going to take a little bit of working with ChatGPT to understand like how the language models work and the prompts to kind of get where you want to go. But this is just another example how I utilize ChatGPT to find out who actually signed the shoe. Here's actually another application that I've utilized, is taking sales transactions and different kind of metrics reports that eBay generates, and asking AI ChatGPT if there's any kind of trends that it sees, if there's anything I can actually work on, or particular things that I can optimize. For this particular prompt, we are adding an Excel spreadsheet here for transactions that happen in May. And it says, look at this list of sold items and tell me if there are any trends you notice or items I should be focusing on during the summer. A very, very specific thing to look at here. So what we're going to do is we're going to generate a prompt, and what it's going to do is going to actually go and it's going to analyze all the particular data in the Excel cells and the columns, and it will actually generate some items here that, you know, it might tell you like exactly a deeper, you know, depth of particular things that, you know, you should be focusing on, which is actually really interesting. Okay, so as we could see, it's kind of analyzed the data. Sometimes this takes a few minutes. As you can see here, it tells us the top selling item categories. Fine jewelry was number 1. It can go through all the different things, the items. You know, we had some Star Trek items. And the prompt that we asked was about, you know, if it spotted any trends and something that we can possibly focus on during the summer. And it said emerging trends you can lean into for summer: gold and precious metal, designer clothes, especially for you know, summer. And we got vintage collectibles, and it says, you know, pop culture stuff like Star Trek. You know, Comic-Con season is in July, something that possibly focus on. You know, luxury watches, and it actually will break down different other things if you ask it to. So this is another kind of way that you could utilize ChatGPT or any kind of large language model to kind of dig deeper down into specific areas of your eBay business that you could work on. And it's really nice. It's almost like having a co-pilot to kind of look at your blind spots that you might not, you know, miss, because it's so good at analyzing data, as you can see here. And like I said, the applications for this particular way to go about using ChatGPT is endless. You can use this for all types of, you know, different applications. And this one is just particular, the very, you know, specific prompt of asking it, well, what do you look at these items that I've sold? What do you think, you know, what things should we be selling during the summer? And it's, of course, it's giving you this kind of this data to kind of work off of. So this is a really cool, another kind of way to look at how ChatGPT could work for you and your business. So let me tell you about this one. This one absolutely blew my mind when it worked. And so let's just say that you have, and by the way, the applications for this particular prompt are limitless. There could be software just built upon what I'm about to tell you right now. So basically what I did is I took a photo of some items, and I happen to know they were Atari, You might not even need to know that they're Atari. But I asked ChatGPT to take a look at these games with just a photo and let me know if there's any high value games in here. Isn't that crazy? Now check this out. Here's the prompt. Look at this list of games and tell me if there are any high value games here. Very simple. I'm gonna generate it. This absolutely blew my mind. The AI is going in and they are actually looking at the photo and reading the titles and actually generating a list and values of the games. It is absolutely crazy. And what it did is actually sorted it by highest to lowest without even me asking to do that. Now, you can do this with pretty much anything. It's absolutely crazy that something like this that could be done. And this is something that I just found out, like not too long ago that, well, what if I just put a photo in and ask it if, hey, look at these games, tell me what's up. It told me what's up, and it actually lists them all in the prices. Common or low value games, usually $10 or loose. Isn't that crazy? This is another typical way that you can just use. And the thing is, the possibilities are endless of what you can use if you just kind of think a little bit outside the box. And of course, you have to cross-reference this to make sure that it's correct. But it's a good way that's just like basically a backstop saying, hey, whoa, there can possibly be a high value game here. And like I said, the implications of this are just out of the world.
What you know about rocking the wolf on your noggin? What you knowin' about wearing a bird box skin? I'm digging, I'm searching right through that luggage. One man's trash, that's another man's. Your granddad, or donated